Hafade Todosanzu, Kwahusi Elsa. Today, the title of my presentation is Let's Take Habitat Restoration to the Next Level, Green Roofs. And it was on purpose that I put in this picture here, the unfinished part. So I'll keep the good stuff for later. So this presentation is made together with Lieve Dirks and Greg Wico. Lieve is originally from Belgium, like me, but is working on her undergrad degree in Zurich on green roofs. So she was very instrumental in the whole process. So first I want to talk about why green roofs. Look at this image of Guam and how much concrete space we have. Wouldn't it be great if we could all make this green and have better stormwater management and also increase biodiversity? So a few examples, because this is not a new thing. Historically, green roofs have been used through times. So the first one here is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. So the king of Babylon, his wife was kind of sad because where she was from in Iran, they had like really lush green gardens and mountains. And he wanted to do something to make her happier. So he installed this green roofs monumentum, and it was made of cisterns and water pumps to make sure that he could take up the water from the rivers. And it was like a 75-foot buildings that were all full of beautiful plants. And some Greek writings said that it was really making the space inside and outside very cool. So then they're putting sods of grass on it. So the other example is a moose water filtration plant in Zurich. And that's actually amazing. There's like 70 hectares of green roof space that's been used. And there's like 175 plant species on these roofs. And there are about 9 like very rare orchids growing on there. So it's really a habitat on its own, this green roof system. Then this is a tower in Italy that is actually more an intensive roof because they're growing trees on it. So there's 75-year-old oaks growing on that green roof. And it's used as a status symbol. People think it's amazing to have this this green roof there, and it's a symbol of rebirth and regrowing life. So then here in Guam, we actually have 2 green roofs on Guam besides of the ones that we just built at UOG. One is at Coast 360. They have this drive-through where you can get money out of the ATM, and it makes the parking lot way cooler having the green roof on it. And then there's also a green roof on the new hospital, but I don't have pictures of that. Another example, which is more an urban, in an urban setting, is the New York City farming plots there. And they produce about 150,000 pounds of fresh organic vegetables on it. And there's about 50 naturally managed beehives on it, on the green roof. And it's a business. And they also do education to schools, how to grow vegetables on your roof, and a really neat example how to increase food security in urban landscapes. So this is a picture from Belgium. So the top one we use a lot of succulents for green roofs because they're really pretty and have really low maintenance. So the top one is a hospital, and the patients, when they walk through the hallways, they can see this more relaxing view of different colors. But there's a lot of houses that have green roofs too, like you see on the bottom one. I kind of grew up seeing these all over, and also like where we put our bikes at the train stations, you have this triangle. Usually that's the image you'll see there too. So now the different types of green roofs. You have three types. You either have the extensive, which has only a top layer of soil of 3 inches and doesn't require much of maintenance. But of course, you cannot plant very big, you cannot plant shrubs, only some forbs and grasses on it. The semi-intensive roof allows you to add some shrubs to it, while the intensive roof is the one you saw from Italy. You can grow trees on it. And I believe the one from the hospital is an intensive roof. So that requires also more maintenance, and structurally, you have to make sure your loading capacity is at that level that it can carry trees. So very important. So there's a lot of benefits on green roofs, and I'll go over some of the personal private benefits you would have if you add a green roof to your house. First of all is energy efficiency. You'll see your AC bill drop down tremendously, so you won't need as much AC during the daytime for sure, because it provides this cooling and insulating effect. And our green roof that we established, we actually had a drop of like 12 degrees Celsius, which is about 40 Fahrenheit, so it's really substantial. And it will, a lot of people are worried about adding a green roof. They say they're gonna break our roof, there's gonna be cracks in there, but it actually is the opposite. It will increase the lifespan of your roof, and it will lower maintenance. You don't need to go up there and water blast it all the time, and it will be protected by UV lights. And a lot of people say, oh, my roof is so black. That won't happen anymore. It will be green. So, and it really saves on retrofitting costs and maintenance, and also reducing waste. You're reducing water usage. Instead of water blasting your roof, you'll actually retain the water, the stormwater runoff by having a green roof. And it's beautiful, isn't it? Seeing these green roofs. And when Leva was here, people also think that you have to green your whole roof. That's not true. You can green half of it and then have a place where you can do yoga in the morning. And she was doing that. She was like standing on the roof having her coffee and enjoy the view. It was really cool to see her enjoy that space in a different way. So then the global effects of green roofs, adding a green roof can support biodiversity. It could be that stepping stone a butterfly needs, or insect need, or even birds need. Actually, our dream is to add a bird cage on our green roof that we're establishing now, but maybe it will happen, we'll see. But for sure, in cities, it will substantially reduce the island heat effect. So standing even next to a green roof will be giving a lower temperature reading. So it also reduces noise. It helps make your space greener. It reduces air pollution because, plants help with that. It cleans the air. It also, again, mitigates the climate change effect because of the island heat effects and stormwater runoff. That's a major, major one, and especially I think in Tumon we could really benefit adding green roofs there and reduce our stormwater runoff, because green roofs will retain between 50 and 80% of the precipitation that lands on the roof. Now, the construction. So we started building our first green roof about November, making the plans right now actually last year. So the layers of a green roof, which you can see, first it's a structural, your concrete slab or your container or whatever it is. Then you need to add a waterproof membrane, which is usually a very sturdy plastic. Then there's a drainage layer, and that's something really interesting because there's different kinds of fabrics you can use, which are actually made of plastic that will have that function. But we thought, what can we do in Guam? We don't want to import the plastic, and when somebody decides to not have the green roof, we have to dispose of it. So we thought about a better solution, and we're using coconut, like just the husks of coconut. So we put up an experiment at CIS to test that. I have to go quicker. So then you add the root barrier, because you don't want that drainage layer to get damaged. And then you add your soil and the plants. And for the plants, you know, a lot of the green roofs tried before, they just use ornamentals or grass. But we thought, let's use some native species. Of course, some vegetables too. So we actually tried a little limestone species roof, and we're getting into a little savanna one soon. So this was how it started. We added some ferns, some small shrubs on the green roof, and you can see there's 6 plots, and 3 were we used that plastic layer. 3 we used coconut halves, and then 3 we used shredded coconut. So, and the purpose is to see if this works, and it's been a year, but we checked with Roland, the expert, and he says as long as it's covered, you're fine. So, and until today, we don't see coconut popping up yet. So how did we find the plants we're using? We just looked at examples, what grows well on surfaces like old buildings. That bell tower is now repainted, unfortunately, and they removed all the plants. It had such a beautiful, you know, look with the plants so many years ago. And then we also looked like at plants like Gausali, who grow well in hot environments. And that's how we chose actually our plants for our first green roof. So, and this is actually how it looks now. It withstood a typhoon too. That's really important to mention. We thought all these would blow off, but nothing happened. Here is a close-up of some of the plants. So there's Phyllanthus marianensis, some ferns, and Scaevola. And then we also did a community workshop, really going through the different steps, hands-on with the community. And we made a little vegetable garden. And that's how it looked like like a month later. So we actually couldn't keep up with it. And if anybody wants to help us with managing that, it's overgrown quickly. Very quick, we're working now on a green roof on a container at our office, and we just installed the structure for it, which is on the left, and the boat shop was instrumental in helping with that, and the Bureau of Statistics and Plants provided some funding for that. And it's made of fiberglass, which is very sustainable to use. And the reason we had to put a box up there is because the loading capacity of a container is on its 4 points on the outer side, but not on the inside. So we needed to make sure that the loading capacity would be good. And we have good news. They have a mold of this, so you can actually, if you want to try a green roof on a container, you can ask them and they make it for you. So, and on the right-hand side is the plants, the savanna species we'll be using, and the cute one on top is Myrtella, which is a very small shrub in the savannas. So we're going to use grasses and sedges that are growing naturally in the savanna. So, and this will be an extensive roof because you don't want to put too much soil on a container. This one won't have large shrubs. So, and this is a message from Leva. She wants to green Guam. And she's a very good illustrator, and that's her message. Thank you.
And the microphone?
Else,
Yes.
you talked a while back about trying to make green roofs around tree stand.
No, we didn't, but we thought about that because we wanted to add that bird cage. So if we would do that, we need to add that kind of bulging wire on top of it. So yeah, that would be something, or like adding, like we also thought about like putting it on a stake or something, the nest, and then have something around it that would prevent snakes coming up. But yeah, we will actually have a camera that is live streaming on that roof. So we will capture any snakes going up there.
That's all we have right now.
Okay.
So we're going to switch over to the next talk. Sorry, but we'll have a panel at the end. Thanks very much, Elsa.